my entry was pretty young in my really young days, because my father played for Trinity for 4 years in the 50s, and our whole family was embedded with rugby. So it was always, rugby was in the blood and always wanting to play rugby. And I was lucky because the first under 13 rugby tournament ever held in Sri Lanka started in 1976 when I was under 13. So that was my big entry, and it was fantastic because we ended up champions, the first side to ever win the under 13 championship. So and I happened to be captain as well. So it was a fantastic experience and big bang entry into rugby. Oh yes, there was all people who ended up continued playing with me throughout. I had Gihan Soiza, Chandika Brody, who was my prop in the 1983 side when I finally captained. Then we had, strangely, some of them moved to Royal and played for Royal. One was Harsha Bevaratna, who was the Vintricourt fly half, my fly half there. He moved to Royal but didn't continue rugby. Then we had Suresh Navaratnam, who was also ardent Trinity and moved to Royal and played for Royal. Yeah, that was memorable, and we still carry those friendships. Wow, that's a special day because my first year was 1980 under Tikri Elapola, and my first ever game for Trinity was the first leg of the Bradby. And oh gosh, it was scary. There was tension. There was butterflies in my stomach. In fact, I think with the pep talk, I went into tears. It was so emotional and such a big deal. Unfortunately, we lost that game very closely, but that is my first real experience into the big rugby setup, and that 80 was special because it was your first year of your jersey. Yeah, so that I really recall and I carry with me even today. Oh yes, so 81, 82, 83 were the next 3 years of mine, and we had come on the backdrop of losing the Bradby for 3 years after 1977. So 80 also losing was a big one. But 1981 was a very special year for me because it was a very special side, very talented. To date, I think some of the best players that I played in my life were in that side. People like Ravi Ponnambalam, people like Byron Fernando, my brother Ashan, Ravi Bandaranayake, who captained that side. We had two flyers of two Vintricourt, Nihal Gunawardene and Anna Vikramasinghe. All you had to do is to get the ball out there and you have them flying over untouchable. So ironically, that side, there were ended up with 9 Lions by the end of our career. So it's a special side. Then we went on to 82, which was again we won all our games in 81 and won the Bradby. So unofficial champs of the league champs. But what happened to us was that we lost the second leg, the Bradby second leg in Colombo. We still retained enough score points to win the Bradby, but that was the only game we lost for the whole year. Then we went on to 1982, which was captained by Byron Fernando, and I think you've heard a lot about Byron Fernando, the Lord Byron that we played with. It is an honor to play with him too. And yeah, so that season also was special because we had a very powerful pack, and with Byron at the back of that. And again, we won all our games except for Isipathana. We lost to Isipathana at the top. So other than that, again, fantastic season, and a lot of the points, actually Byron was the chief in that side, but we had a really good combination. He was playing number 8 and I was scrum half, and we had a fantastic year because lots of the points, almost 90% of the points, he scored most of it, but the balance was scored by me. So between us, we were like a little unstoppable. So that's how we kept whacking our games all right along. '83 was a really balanced side. There were no specialities there. We had a great pack. We had great ball winners, and we had great runners, and we just kept winning and winning and winning. And similar to the '81 season, we won all our games, so we are unofficial champs. But again, we came down to Colombo. Our dream was to not make another '81, but it happened the same way. Our dream was to score within the first 5 minutes of the game, and in 2 minutes we had scored. So then we went into a kind of slip, and we thought, okay, we had won the match. But and Royal came back, and it was a fantastic game for Royal. But we survived it. So we survived it, and we kept and we retained the Bradby. So we had some really good players in '83. People like Rohana Bekon, who really was a power packed in the center of the field. He went on to play for CH, Sri Lanka, captain Sri Lanka. Subsequently, played for many years. We had some great forwards like again Chandika Brody, my brother Dilakshan. So incidentally, I was always playing with a brother. So when I came into '80, Roshan, my elder brother, was playing with me. He played with me '80, '81, '82. He won his Lion in '81. Then the moment he exited from the setup, Dilakshan, my younger brother, came in '83. So I had always the comfort of having a brother in the side. So his legacy, and it's a nice feeling to have your own kith and kin in incidents like this. So so some talented players, and we had wing three-quarter called Ruan Gunasekara, who was actually sadly he's not with us anymore. He lost his life in 1989, but he was another star wing three-quarter, similar to the Anas and the Gundais we used to call him, because all we had to do is get that space and give him, and he scored the tries. Dilakshan was the number 8, and we had a very balanced, good side. It's a good example of a really good side without depending on anyone too much. That was an honor and a pleasure, but we only realize the value of it today or thereafter. At that time it was all excitement about winning the game and getting on with it. And I never realized the value of Mr. E.R. Bradby himself being there. And we were thinking subsequently, we have some photographs of both teams being taken together, but never such a ironic situation, and we have not a single photograph of taken with Mr. E.R. Bradby with the teams. That would have been the 100th game. It would have been fantastic to carry 40 years later, but sadly nobody had thought about that at that time. But very special moments, and only now you value it. Wow, it's the epitome of any rugby player's career in school. I mean, you're looking at first your honor is to win your jersey, and you want to hand it over, taking it a notch to a level than whoever was before you. That's your responsibility eventually. And then you go on to win matches, and then you go on to win colors and your awards. And I had the privilege of winning my Lion in '82. And today, that's those awards and those memories are what you really take home, and I can fondly remember lots of these things, and proud of those moments and those the relationships, the friendships you have made over those years. So in fact, it's worth mentioning Sriyan Kure, who was my opposing captain. We come back, we go a long way. So when he was captaining under 15, I was captaining under 15. So we met along the way. He was under 17, I was under 17, then we finally had first 15. And the friendships we even carry today. And his relationship was special because his parents were fairly, I mean, they were big fans of me. And whether it was Royal or not, whenever Trinity played in Kandy, they were the first people I would see the crowd and stand in a place to wish me well when you come in. So these are amazing experiences that any kid can have. I still carry those memories. So special, there are special moments. It's an honor, and every player should be considering this as an honor, which I did and all of us did. You carry the hopes and the dreams of every Trinitian's family, sister, brother, mother, father, and so many hundreds of thousands of Trinitians who have been there in the past. And all you carry is their dreams onto the grounds on that day, and you have a big responsibility. It's you can't take it lightly. So you're expected to go out there and win, and you're expected to go out there and really put your heart on the line and make sure your body on the line and get 200% on the line. That's all you're thinking about, and that's a great feeling. And I feel that that passion is not as strong as it was many years ago. So I remember some of our predecessors lecturing to us that when you get off that bus and walk into Bogambara or Nittawala, you carry yourself, because you're carrying the dreams of so many Trinitians. You carry your boots in the right way. You make sure your dress is perfect, and you're out there to go out there and really do what you have to do. And most of the time, it's amazing that when I look back, there are many teams that we have played against that were much stronger than us, but never in our mind was a thought of losing. And we actually that confidence is that amazing thing that takes us through, has taken me through, and lots of us through lots of those victories. And I can't imagine some of these sides that we have played against and still won. So it's an amazing feeling. So the game now has evolved to a completely different level. There is more strength, there is more power, there is so the game is more physical. It's completely different from our days. So so you need to be up for that battle. You need to be up there for the physicality of it. In the meantime, balance your emotions and make sure you're focused on. Ultimately, it's a sport. And so in all this, you really need to have commitment in putting your 200% your body on the line to get the best of it. And the All Blacks is the good example of that, where you do the basics, the fundamentals well, and really put your body on the line to take it to that other level. And we're trying hard and hoping that the Trinitians will carry that forward. They have the physicality, and we need to really bring that on the field and bring it into the whole rugby culture itself. So I think, it's a very, I'm very lucky to have my son who's gone up to play. I mean, do everything better than I ever did, and that privilege is actually special, because I have seen so many much greater players than me who had their children also, playing the sport, but wasn't able to blossom to the father's levels. In my case, I mean, this guy did much better than me, and that's any father's dream. So he kept it all, but like you said, coming down the family tree, my father played for 3 or 4 years. 4 years actually, in the 50s. Then I got into in the 80s, and my brothers were with me. So end of the day, we have my father is a colorsman, my Roshan is a lion with me, my brother Dilakshan is a colorsman, and then my son ends up a lion and captain as well. So I don't think you can have it any better. It's a fantastic feeling. I think Trinity Rugby, well, having said that, I'm hopeful that this year we can really make a surprise. I think the way they have gained from the first match to now, there's a lot of hope. Royal have a good side, but I think Trinity may be able to pull this off the way they're coming up if they keep graduating the way they are. But I think Trinity Rugby requires culture shock. We can't talk about old days and old people like ourselves, and there has to be a new blood, a new passion, a new culture for them to perform. We can't go on our old, because it doesn't mean anything to a new generation. So I think that is where it's going to be crucial for Trinity to really find that new thing that's going to stimulate them to bring that culture and passion back to where it should be. My job would be I'll pick from all. I'll pick my 15 from all 4 years, and I think it'll be a untouchable side. I would also like to mention that we have unfortunately lost 5 of our key players of 1983 at a very young age. It's 40 years since we played, but we have lost these friends and teammates from the 1980s itself. We first lost Arjuna De Silva to a tragic accident in the US, and we lost him very early in the days. Then we lost Ruwan Gunasekara, who was in 1989, who was a mistaken identity during the JVP troubles. We have lost Anjana De Silva, who was the number 7 in action during the LTT war. We lost Dushanta Vijay Singh, who was the 1985 captain, to an illness. And just last year, we lost my fly half, Jeevana Handunge, who was illustrious man and a guy we miss a lot today. My rugby career is not complete without giving credit to our famous coach, Colonel Bertie Dias, who was the mastermind and the tactician to see us through my last 3 years in school. And finally in 83, all the success goes to his tactical play and his mastermind of getting us through. I would like to take this opportunity to remember all of them, Colonel Bertie Dias and all my 5 teammates. May God bless them and may their souls rest in peace.
Hey, have you heard about Z?
Z. We KYC.
Easy.
Mobile banking. Crazy.
Education loans and salary advances. Amazing.
Introducing the Digital Youth Account. NDB Z from NDB Bank. The future is banking on us.